Is that a Pooplickian game pod?
Actually, it's the Game Pod XL. They say it's the most realistic video game console ever.
I never got you that.
Space Mom did.
Rick and Morty, Season 6, Episode 3 puts the focus on an incredibly freaky sci-fi topic. And by that I obviously mean video games. Incredibly realistic video games. Directed by Douglas Einar Olsen, Bethic Twinstinct included a bunch of retro gaming Easter eggs to distract us from what is probably the most weirdly horny Rick and Morty episode yet. And I'll break all of that down, but before I do, heads up, I'm gonna be spoiling everything. So if you don't want to hear all that, you're gonna have to be creative with the exit strategy because portal guns don't work anymore.
I'm a good-looking woman. Well, that's nice of you to say. I also find myself quite attractive.
Okay, the real central point is Beth and Space Beth f***ing. Sorry, but that's basically it. Except, actually, it's a bit more. The question of would you want to have sex with a clone of yourself, and is that cheating? Is explored in this episode, but I think a major angle no one really thinks about when exploring this sci-fi quandary is how does that affect everyone else in your life when you may or may not be terrible at keeping it a secret?
You suck at doing it secretly. We all know.
To recap, the Smith family is having Thanksgiving for the upteenth time at their current ages, and Space Beth is celebrating with them. Beth and Space Beth get hopped up on Venusian wine, flirt, and hook up, which Summer, unfortunately for her, witnesses.
Oh, I better get back to bed. Yep, same.
While she previously made fun of Rick and Morty for praising a boring video game, she is suddenly into very realistic video games, intimating she needs an escape from her own reality. Morty also witnesses some Beth on Beth action and is also messed up. Retreating deeply into video games. Jerry remains clueless, and Rick knows but isn't particularly moved because he probably did something similar.
Drill me for details when I'm drunker.
He warns Beth not to get too caught up in the lies.
I'm just saying, lies pile up, like credit card debt. You retain an advantage by staying liquid.
Space Beth tells Jerry what happened, and he retreats into pillbug form as emotional defense.
What the f***? That's a bug! Dad rolled into a bug!
And just as the Beths are about to have Rick, quote, eternal sunshine the multiplicity porn scenes from their brains, Jerry angrily announces he's going to leave.
I may be a man, but I'm also a baby, and babies don't take responsibility for other people's suffering.
Then Beth and Jerry do some sex things that Morty, Summer, and Rick hear.
Pass the salt?
Damn it!
Oh, and the portal guns still don't work, so there's no escape. Unless they go outside. Why did no one try that? Lastly, Rick puts the Venusian wine in a pocket dimension liquor cabinet and destroys the remote that connects to it. Did he plan this whole thing? Why? He also wanted to leave when Morty told him Space Beth was around, so that could be motivation. The talk over the space whale indicates that Rick supports a Beth-Beth couple but wants her to be honest, meaning let Jerry know so he could freak out and leave.
If something were to happen to you, or if you were to leave me or be unfaithful, I would die. Literally, probably by my own hand.
Since the result was a Beth and Jerry three-way, Rick could have considered it a failure and iced the whole thing. That or he's just playing cleanup this whole episode, but Rick is more of a proactive type, in my opinion. Rick and the kids primarily deal with what's going on, or not deal with it, with video games of all different types via the Pooplickian Game Pod XL. Summer says as much by saying,
Maybe I decided real life was too much right now.
And
make your own controller. Some of us need all the control we can get.
And her whole exchange with Morty.
So why are you so suddenly into realistic video games?
I already was!
Yeah, but now you're into them the way I am.
You mean like staring at them in a numb trance?
The video games themselves are full of great Easter eggs, which are coming up after this, but their primary use seems to be escape. Escape from your weird, traumatic life events you're trying to avoid. Escape from further thoughts you'd rather not think. Escape from the forest, but allowing the vampires to win. And escape from your own responsibilities, which suck and you don't want to confront. But video games aren't just about escape. They're exploring the heights of what could be, the positive, imaginative, creative, even hopeful sides of things. Beth and Beth simulate a whole beautiful life together in the holodeck, which Beth later specifically calls,
I love you the way you are, and I did it forever in a video game.
even though it's not really exactly that. That was purposeful, to illustrate the whole point of video games representing a leap from reality in ways that could be construed as both negative and positive. Beth wraps this angle up pretty well herself.
In life, things go wrong, things stop working. I like to fix those things, and when I can't, I'm pretty useless. Like my husband.
Video games are awesome and can help you learn, heal, escape, whatever you need, but you gotta deal with those unwanted, difficult thoughts at some point, even though you hate them, because we have to exist in the real world. We have to get up, work, and earn more money to buy video games. And I guess, experience the double-edged sword of the beauty and pain of life with our loved ones. Easter eggs! So many! Several video games and game genres are referenced. The first game seems to be Asteroids, and when they up the realism, I think it's sort of like No Man's Sky, what with the vast boringness of space and pretending to like it. There's also a Street Fighter game, a Final Fantasy VII-like game where Morty renamed Cloud Morty, a visual novel-like game for Hide the Affair, and a text-based RPG. Beth and Space Beth do a San Junipero, which is famously a Black Mirror episode where two dead women fall in love, and versions of them live on together forever in a simulated dream world.
You did a full San Junipero in here?
Also, it's a holodeck, which is Star Trek! In the Get Into a Street Fight game, there are several modes, including Battle Royale, Meth Mode, Pants Free, Urban, and Slappers Only. Rick and Summer's characters have interesting names. The Ryu Ken guy is named Kick Puncher, which is a reference to Abed's favorite in-universe fictional character in Community, and the Blanca-looking guy is named Tube Steak, which is a reference to Rick got a Thanksgiving pardon for them, like in the Season 5 episode Rick and Morty's Thanksploitation Spectacular again, but it all played out off-screen. Beth and Space Beth ask Rick to Eternal Sunshine them, and the thing they use to do that is the Morty's Mind Blower device from the Season 3 episode of the same name. Space Beth makes reference to Naruto.
Oh, right, Naruto.
The giant incest space baby. Morty forgot about it, and I wish I did too.
Maintenant, tu connais Vénusienne. Oh mon Dieu, ça a l'air si chic.
Vénusien est juste français. Qui serait? Les Français. Peut-être que les Français viennent de Vénus. Rick has a secret liquor cabinet with a Mr. Meeseeks box and a bottle with a tiny Morty floating in it. We will likely never know how that happened since he destroyed access to it. This isn't necessarily tied to just this episode, but Space Beth has a blue streak in her hair. In Dan Harmon language, that means she's basically well-adjusted but likes projecting that she's really bad. How do I know? Evil Britta did the same thing in Community. Rick mentions,
It's a cool power to have, like if you have to fly coach or if Summer asked you what you thought of Wonder Woman 1984.
I am a huge Wonder Woman fan, but wow, that movie was awful. Just watch the first one twice. Rick says,
If you try to pry him out and hit a nerve, he'll literally turn into a Shrek.
Shrek eats bugs. Is that something? Oh, and Space Beth's car is a Doctor Who TARDIS, and Jerry revisited the Jerry Daycare Center for Morty Night Run and wants to kiss himself.
Okay, thank you.
What did you think of this episode of Rick and Morty? Let us know down in the comments. I'm Kim Horcher, and thank you for watching this episode of Canon Fodder. And for more Rick and Morty, here's how we know Evil Morty is still out there somewhere. And remember to follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.